Is Dr. Brett Hill, and I'm so glad to be here with you. I'm a chiropractor and creator of Your Posture program, and I'm excited to share a soulful conversation today.
Sunshine, good to see you again. Had to walk out to let you back in. Stuck in a storm of a relationship. Lost my fire. Oh, and I forgot about me for way too long. But it's rolled on. Now there ain't no shade around here.
Hey everybody, it's Pearl Sorenzo with Women's Successful Living, and your conversation today, our Soulful Self-Care Conversation. I have an amazing guest with us today. And for those who watch us for a while, I always tell you that yes, we do have gentlemen that pop onto our podcast, and today is one of those days. Today, I want to introduce you to Dr. Brett Hill. He's the founder of Your Posture program and experienced life chiropractor. He is a chiropractor and speaker transforming how we approach posture and movement. From a tiny startup clinic to a global online program, he has helped people reduce pain, improve alignment, and enhance well-being through practical, effective strategies. And I have to tell you that I think what you're doing is so amazing, Dr. Brett. And I shared you with my chiropractor here at home. So hopefully we'll get a formal introduction going as well. In fact, I called her. I'm going on a plane on Sunday. I'm like, can I get in tomorrow? Because I want to get adjusted before I get on an airplane. So,
Perfect. Love it.
so,
Love
so
it.
yeah. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So one of the things that we always start out with the show is we talk about what we don't have questions, but I'd like to get an introduction to little Brett, little Dr. Brett before he became this doctor. What was he doing? What was life like? And what did he want to do when he grew up to be an amazing the adult that he is today? So will you introduce him to us?
You betcha. Yeah, I'm a pretty real person, easy to share how my life was and my life now where I'm going. It's always a journey. Nothing's perfect yet. So growing up, I grew up in a small town and there's really not a lot to do there. So I played as many sports as I could. So at the time, we didn't have a lot of like community ball and club ball like my kids are in now. But any school sport, I'd be there. I'd participate in and do and play basketball with my buddies outside. So trying to be active as much as possible. And from there, always knew that I enjoyed being healthy or being active and wanted to help people to find the same. So I thought I was going to go into med school. I thought I'm gonna fix a lot of these problems, that chronic problems. My mom had a lot of health issues, just autoimmune and other chronic problems that I thought I'm gonna find the solution rather than here's another pill and different things where she's just kind of managing the symptoms. And I found, you know what, that's what's going to end up happening through med school for a lot of these chronic problems is just learning about what's the drug for this and for that. And I wanted to do something more that wasn't fulfilling for me. So I got introduced to chiropractic. I kind of had an idea of, well, that seems like healthy avenue. And a lot of sports teams have a chiropractor. It seemed like at the time we're starting to get more popular. And my wife, um, newlywed doing my undergrad, she got in a car accident and went to a chiropractor and introduced me to different mindset, a different way of thinking that the body can heal and we're, it's not just about the back pain that you have, but it relates to other problems that you might have. So it intrigued me to how the body knows how to heal. If it gets a cut, it knows what to do. And it drove me down the avenue of chiropractic, went to school and was excited to be like, okay, I'm going to learn whatever the best thing is for people's health. And I kind of got a little bit frustrated, not frustrated, but like found out there's a lot of different avenues. There's a lot of different places you can go and be like, that's chiropractic. And then go somewhere else and like, oh, that's still a chiropractor, but that's a completely different experience. And so I was like, okay, well, what's going to be the best? And it drove me to take more neurology, and understanding why when someone gets adjusted or they do this activity, does it affect their acid reflux or their whatever, their vertigo, and understanding how the body's so integrated, it made sense neurologically. And that is what kind of led me on the path to where I am today. I came out of school with all this extra training that I'd spent time and money on, and thought, I can affect people in a different way. So I started my own clinic, basically a small room with I had no patients at the time. And it slowly grew to bringing on a front admin person, and then massage therapy. And then anyways, where we are now, it grew because I was so focused on let's get results with people, let's empower them to take control of their health. And at the root of their neurology of what was going on with so many of the problems I kept seeing was their postural support. And that's why we developed this program, because it really helped all of the chronic problems people were dealing with when they addressed the root of it at the postural core strength that they were weaking, they were lacking, they were weak at. And yeah, and so we found we can take this out to help a lot more people by doing it online as well.
I love the journey. Like, you want to go do doctor work, and then you it led you because of things happening. And it's interesting how either it's something that's happened to us or something that somebody we care for or love for, they were like, oh, I want to help them. That leads to different things that can help them. And I think that's so cool to watch that transition. And when you were talking about I started in a little office, I thought, well, we all start somewhere, right? So the little office has grown into something really powerful, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute. And I love that, that different people in your life is what opened your eyes to see the bigger thing that it was really you were meant to do, which is the chiropractic world. And I think for me, a little bit background for me, what chiropractic is, and I'm sure you heard this too in your world is, oh, I don't be cracked and all this cracking, da, 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 and, they're gonna break this bone or whatever. That used to be like me. And then my younger son had gotten into a car accident, and in that car accident, we decided he needed to go see a chiropractor. It was highly recommended. So he was going, but by the time like it was maybe 3 miles from my house where he was going. So by the time he would leave there and come home, he's like, Mom, I'm still in pain. And so I was in a network meeting, and this new chiropractor in our community had come in, and his name is Dr. Drago. He's so much funny, so funny. And so he's like, well, tell me about it. So he encouraged me to switch Nate over to him, even though we had the accident thing. We went ahead and made the financial decision to do that. And what started out as being told, oh, you'll never ride roller coasters again. Like he's doing roller coasters again. Like he's
Mm,
doing all that stuff. And so that encouraged me to be like, okay, let me get myself looked at. And at the time when that was going on, I had started having this breathing issue. And you know how when you go to you have a campfire, and when you put the campfire out, still has that little bit of the smell of the fire afterwards. I was having the taste of that, like something like that in my mouth. So I was going
mm,
to the doctors, and I don't like claustrophobic stuff. They actually put me in this really tight chamber. I thought I was going to be shot up to the sky or something. And they were
mm,
doing all this testing, and nothing was working. And so that was around time that Nate was going, and he's like, let me just try to adjust you. And I forget what he adjusted. And it went away like that. I was like, oh my gosh.
mm.
Like, he's like, okay, if that's going to be your signal, if you start feeling that, smelling that, whatever, that means you get in here. And so I go regularly now. So I
That's
just think
super
it's,
cool.
yeah, I think it's so, so important. What I also find interesting is that you guys can look at x-rays and things like that and get an idea like what's wrong inside the body or how tall somebody's still going to grow. And I'm like, that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot that people don't really realize. And most people think, oh, if your back hurts, your neck hurts, and there's clinics where it's like, okay, you go to them and it's going to be a quick in and out, just come back, keep coming back. That's not how I like to think or how I practice, because my goal is just like, here's another pill for that, and just, okay, we'll just manage those symptoms. I don't want to do the same thing of, well, we'll just adjust and then adjust and then adjust and adjust, but you're not changing anything that's going to help that maintain. And so it's really powerful in how it can help your body to heal itself. And that's really the goal. It knows what it needs. We just got to give it the right nutrition, the right activation, the right movement patterns. And it's amazing some of the things that we can actually see a change with and help with chiropractic. One of the things I really love, and it drew me a lot to this whole posture program, is more neurology of vertigo issues and migraine sufferers. Um, we've had some really cool effects and changes in people's lives by helping with that. And so and so it's always cool when people like you said, they told him he couldn't ride a roller coaster. Well, people like, well, you won't be able to work probably anymore, or you can't, you're going to have to be on this Botox forever, or whatever it is. And we're like, that's not true. That's just masking the symptoms. We got to get to the root of what's going on here. And sometimes it's pretty quick, and they're like back at work and they're doing fine. It's a similar story for you. One of a cool patient where her daughter came to me first for I can't remember what it was, some neck issues or hip problems or something, and she got great results. Well, the mom was really she was a nurse and in the medical system and really nervous with chiropractic, but she's like, okay, I need some help. I know you help my daughter a lot, so I'm willing to try anything, because they told her you can't, you probably won't work anymore. She had this vertigo issue, and anyway, so she's like, can you help with this at all? I'm like, well, let's see if there's some things we find. Likely we will. So examined her, adjusted her, give her some exercise things, and within like 3 to 5 visits, she was completely resolved of the vertigo and back at work, like going back to work. She was worried because her husband was looking to retire, and herself in the next 3 to 5 years. She's like, we want to travel. I don't know if I'll be able to go on a plane with him anymore, because he flew a lot for work. And so things like that, where it's like we're giving people this experienced life back. That's why we're called that, is pretty empowering, and I love that. It feels great.
Yeah, I think I really believe that we need to look at all avenues we can for our health. It's not the old traditional way. There's some new things, new ways, including chiropractic that can do that. And I want to talk about, like, when you and I first talked before, you were sharing about the Your Posture program and the Experience Life. Talk to us about the Your Posture program and what you've put together, because I think it's a very unique opportunity, and I'd love to share it with the audience.
Well, posture is something all of us have to look at or take care of, yet most of us don't. I think we need to backtrack a little bit. Everybody thinks the posture is just, I know I need to sit up straight. Oh, I need to stand up straight. That's the problem is people don't understand what posture actually is. Posture is our ability to resist gravity efficiently and effectively, unconsciously as well, meaning our nervous system does it automatically. Whether it's good posture or bad posture, we're always activating it in a certain way as long as we're resisting gravity. So whether we're sitting, standing, crawling, basically when we're sleeping, we don't have to really worry about it so much. And it is the majority of our brain power goes towards that just day in, day out. And yet we never think about it. So an important concept to understand is what's called neuroplasticity. If our brain is just learning things constantly, it's always adapting to the environmental stimuli, internal stimuli, whatever it's stimulated with. So unconsciously, our posture is just adapting to whatever we tell it to do. Nowadays, most of us sit at a desk, sit at a computer, sit on our phones. I mean, the youth nowadays come out of these schools, their recess time or their time not sitting at a desk, they're now sitting with their friends, but looking at their phones. So we're being more and more ingrained to use computers and to use devices. And we're telling our brains this is the normal position we should be at. That's what we're doing all the time. And we naturally adapt to that at the sacrifice of other things. So as we lose that postural tone or core stability, we can have problems like vertigo, problems like lower back sciatica or chronic pain, tension, anxiety. A lot of times people hold that tension or that stress in their shoulders, and I get patients, they're like, I'm like, relax your shoulders. And they're like, I am. I'm like, okay, we're going to do this exercise. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize I'm literally holding my shoulders like this all the time, because they're just go, go, go and stressed all the time. And so the posture system, when we actually connect our brain to be aware of what is going on, we can start to feel those effects. We can feel, why am I stressed right now? Why am I holding this tight? Why am I straining and feel tension at the base of my skull? Because when we look at that screen day in, day out, hour on end, what happens is we're drawn into that. And rather than look down, we tilt our head by tightening up these muscles at the base of our skull. Now those get really tight, and we shift our center of gravity. So our ear canals are now shifted or sensing things differently. And it causes our feet to widen and we collapse in our lower back. So our core system gets weak. And then we think we need to strengthen our core by just going and doing ab crunches or planks and things, when in reality, we've lost that foundational unconscious small muscle control of our posture system, and we're prone for an injury, or we're prone for more problems because we try to recruit these bigger muscles to do the work that these small postural muscles should be doing all the time.
I never thought about posture in the way you put it. So it's like wild because you're right. We think it's just sitting up straight, and there's so much more to it. And I remember like you talk about those little muscles in the back. We forget those little muscles do so much for the back of our head. That's one thing I did learn with the whole breathing thing. It's had a lot to do with what was going on back here. So yeah, it's really cool. So tell us about the online program, because you've got this program you connect it and other people can get connected with it.
Yeah, so what we created online is basically what we found was effective, the most effective way to change people's posture in clinic. So it's cool because our assessment of posture we can do online virtually. So you yourself or any of your listeners can download an app where you connect to our clinic. You have someone take a picture from the front and the side, and then you can do a video. So we'll sometimes do a squat video, or a lunge or balance testing. But you can send, even if it's just the pictures, you can send them to us. And through that app, it's connected to our clinic. And we analyze those. So we put points on those pictures that will give us a measurement of where you're at. And then we'll have a video call to go over those results. And it's cool, from that call, a lot of times just looking at those pictures, we can get a lot of information of your health and where you're at. And we also like to get a good understanding of your goals and your health history, and really address, what's going on, and is this something posturally that we should be addressing right now, or do we need to send you elsewhere to address something else first before we start doing some of these exercises. From there, if we feel we can help, we'll give you access to our program. It's a 10-week program where we meet on a video call once a week. We reevaluate at the 5 weeks and at the end, and we can put these pictures side by side, and it's amazing just in 10 weeks how much people can change, and if they're consistent with what we give them. And they're amazed at the end because they're like, wow, I didn't necessarily feel that happen immediately. Like, we're so used to being like, here's that pill, the symptom's gone, or, oh, I'm bored, here's the entertainment right on my phone. Like, we want to feel it or know it right away, but posture is something we don't notice it collapsing out of good posture. So getting it back, people always say, yeah, I'm much more aware, I'm feeling that, I notice how I collapse all the time. And so when we have that awareness, it's amazing how fast it can adapt too without you really noticing it. And so we take them through a series of exercises, and this is something, with our program, we would love to offer your listeners just a free start with 5 minutes a day. They can do these free exercises that we can give them, at yourpostureprogram.com/videos. And maybe you can provide a link, but that's as a thank you for you and for your listeners. Just start with those free exercises to get an awareness of three things: the head position, your pelvic floor or core activation, and balance control. So those are the three things we start people on. Now, anybody can go onto YouTube and look up videos for posture, and they're going to see a lot of different things. They're going to see, oh, pull your shoulders back and just round those out. They're going to find products that pull the shoulders back. They're going to find things that tell you go to a wall and then just tuck your chin into the wall. And I'm like, okay, for one, that's not comfortable. My posture does not look like this during the day. I don't want to do that. They're getting a part of it right, but what happens is we give them an exercise, and in the videos you'll see where you can lay on the ground or on a bench, and we want to lengthen the neck. So where we collapse forward, these muscles tighten up at the base of our skull, so our chin shifts out. Well, what we want to do is we want to lengthen the back of our head and then tuck the chin and then arch it behind the shoulders to get movement at the base of our neck. It's a little hard to describe over audio, so I encourage people to look at those videos and try it out. Um, the secret sauce of our program is the once a week video calls, because people will go and do these exercises and then they're like, yeah, I think I'm doing it right. And we check and we're like, that's great, but where do you feel it? Okay, we need to just tweak a tiny thing. And it's amazing. It's like, oh, I feel those muscles. It turns on these other muscles by just changing the movement pattern to break out of their compensation. And now they can start connecting their brain to muscles they weren't aware of how to use them. And that's where it's different than just, okay, you got to go over this video and do this 5 times a day. Well, your body's going to compensate to move all the big muscles. If you just feel like you need to pull your shoulders back, you're not going to correct your posture, because as soon as you stop, your head's pulling it all back, everything's going to drop back. So we focus on first the head position, second the core activation, so that's a pelvic tilt. So if, like you mentioned, the breathing's important to connect our body. So we use that breathing to help connect with this pelvic floor muscle while staying tall. Most people, if they engage their core, they might tighten up their abdominals or suck in, or it brings them down. So when we think of posture, it should be lifting us up. So I encourage, you can do this on a wall or on your back, but breathing in and letting your stomach extend out, letting your chest fill full. When you breathe out, try to keep your chest really tall. So your chin and your sternal notch here, it's called. So the sternum close to your chin and elevated. While you breathe out, it's going to pull the bottom pelvic floor muscles up to push that air out. And it's going to tighten your TA muscle, which is wraps from your lumbar spine around below your belly button there, to tighten up. So it's this small muscle at the base of your stomach, your core, your abdomen, pelvic floor area that should tighten up and push that air out. And when you start to connect your brain to that muscle, it's amazing how much stronger your core will feel. So those are the first two things we get people to start to feel and control. And that's where, if they're having difficulties, please contact us. We'd love to help you. That's what we take people through in our program. But start to do those on your own by just getting these videos, and that's a great starting point for people.
I love that you saw a need to put something together for people that, and you've brought it out there to the world, because we're in a world of digital everything nowadays, And so I think it's really cool that a chiropractor has brought that to the world, because that's the area that needs to be fixed, because everything with digital is like you said. And yeah, I would be very uncomfortable trying to put my head the way
Yeah.
so I can't even think about doing it. Yeah, I think it's so I think it's really cool, like when people can think outside the box of what we do in our brick and mortar and what we can do to help more people, and not that can't be physically in here. So can anybody can sign up for that? Do they have to, I mean, is it an insurance-based program? Is it something they just go online? And we're going to put the show notes and everything into the links and everything. Anybody can sign up for that?
Anybody can sign up for our program. Like I said, we like to have an initial consult to make sure that there's no contraindications to going through our program and doing these exercise things. Um, like I said, those initial three exercises, those are free for people to get. If they wanted to go further and get that assessment and then go through this program one-on-one over the full 10 weeks, there is a fee, and that can be a monthly thing or a one-time fee. But um, insurance based will only be for those that are where I'm licensed to practice as a chiropractor,
Right,
to be billed as
right.
insurance. Now, if you have health spending or something, then maybe they will cover something like that. But for chiropractic itself in Alberta, Canada, where I'm located, is where that would be covered only. So for any of your listeners there, yeah, we can bill insurance for you in Alberta, but outside of that, we're not regulated.
Gotcha. So my other question is, are you introducing this to other chiropractors to partner with you in any kind of way with that?
Well, we haven't looked at that avenue yet. It's something that we kind of really dialed in the office. We were working at getting it online. We had some things up, and then I'm like, I'm really, I'm really particular on quality and making sure we get results. And so then we tweaked it a little bit more, and so I'm super happy with where we've gotten it to get the best results with, and literally anybody that's consistent with what we give them. I've yet to see someone be like, I didn't really feel a change, or I didn't really notice much difference, or yeah, that wasn't very effective. Like it changes amazing things with them because posture, so many health things are associated the foundational
Right.
stuff of their posture. And so we do have plans or ideas to partner with other chiros and other clinics, whether it be physio or medical or different things, as a program that we can offer through their clinic or train them on.
Right.
We haven't dialed that in yet, so we're still working on that.
I think it's definitely you're on. I think you're onto something. So definitely, I'm looking forward to see the growth for that for you. I think it's an amazing opportunity, especially for somebody to that struggles to go into an office or wants that kind of help and
Yeah.
guidance. I think it's a powerful thing. I think you should trademark it if you haven't trademarked it
Mhm.
yet.
And it's cool because it's a huge population base. Like we had one, like I think it was 16 or 17 year olds that we took through this program. And, it's easy because they know how to use technology and things with our video calls and whatnot. But I mean, it works for them as much as it does the 60-year-old, 65-year-old who, we can adapt certain things if you have limitations or
Right.
mobility issues. And so it's amazing that the reach, that impact that this can have. Yeah, pretty exciting.
That's so cool. All right. So tell everybody where they can reach you, Dr. Brett, how they can reach you. We'll put everything in the show notes as well.
Yeah, appreciate it. Now, because I'm such a posture nut and I just don't do a lot on social media, we do have social media for our clinic, but for the posture program itself, the best way, go to yourpostureprogram.com/videos. You can contact us through that, send us an email, ask us questions. Um, you can reach me directly at drhill@experiencelife.ca, and that starts with X, not EX. That's my email. We'd love to help you out. Any questions that you might have. Sometimes that goes to our spam mail, so the best way is through the website, yourpostureprogram.com.
Awesome. So we'll make sure that all gets in there and connects with you. And I'm excited. So if you do follow through on that, make sure you let us know how it went. Put a Google review out there and share it underneath our podcast here, and make sure you like and subscribe, and then also comment about what you felt, how you felt about what you learned today, because I think it's important. Health overall is such an important part of self-care, and that's why I wanted Dr. Brett to come on here to talk about, and also to be able to understand you have other options. So if you can't get into the office, you have other ways of getting help. So thank you for sharing that with us today. So before we let Dr. Brett go, I share with him that we have our Better Questions, Better Life cards. So they're basically, I'm going to shuffle these cards. You're going to tell us when to stop, and we'll read your card. So you ready?
I'm
All right.
ready. I'm
Here,
excited.
here we go. You tell me
All
when to
right,
stop.
let's stop.
All right. What
Oh no.
makes your heart sing? What makes your heart sing? Let me froze for a
Sorry,
second.
it froze for a
What makes
second
your
there.
heart sing, Dr. Brett?
What
I
makes
know
my
it
heart
froze when I gave
sing?
you the. So your card, yeah, your card is what makes your heart sing.
What makes my
Technology.
heart sing? Um, I would have to say, I love spending time in the outdoors, and I love spending time even more with my kids in the outdoors. So
Oh.
I would say backpacking and fly fishing in the mountains with my kids. That's
Ooh, fly
that's kind of the
fishing.
best. Just everything else can be put aside and just connected right there with my kids and nature and fishing. I love it.
I love fly. I've never fly fished, but I love
Mm.
that thought of you fly fishing with your kids. So that's so awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us today. And I just want to remind everybody when you come into this world, we have a little rough oyster, a little shell, and it sounds like you have to go get your shell adjusted with Dr. Brett there. But inside we have this beautiful pearl. So I want you to go out today, find your inner pearl of greatness so that you become stronger, happier, empowered, radiant, original self, and create your Shiro life that you want to lead. Thank you so much for being with us today, Dr. Brett.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. That was that was so much fun. I love chiropractic care, and I've got a great chiropractor here. But Dr. Brett, I love what he brings to the thought of a different way of getting and taking care of your chiropractic health. So I hope you reach out to him. I hope you follow him. Go check out his exercises. And remember, if you struggle in your self care, if you struggle finding harmony in your life, I just want to invite you to book a free Say Yes to Your Life coach call with me today. And let's talk about what brings you joy and how we can get you back engaging in the things that bring you joy. Have a great day.